Hello, how are you doing? My name is Joseph Googie. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. And for those of you that are new to this page, I always like to say welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a platform, Pre-PT Grind is a platform that is meant to serve you as pre-PTs and help you get into physical therapy school without wasting a lot of time or money. Tonight's live stream is going to be a really short one, mainly because in a few minutes, I'm going to hop on with our accepted system students to take care of them, do their live training for the week. But there's a topic that I wanted to discuss with all of you. I had what's up, Jared? How you doing? I had a series of phone calls today with some of my students, and this is a topic, this is a conversation that we had with quite a few of them. And I was like, man, a lot of pre-PTs need to figure this part out, because this is a big part of what you're going to use when it comes time to doing your essay, doing your interviews, when you're talking to programs, but more importantly, you just knowing for yourself why you're doing it. Emily, how are you doing? Good to see you. And just you for yourself, just knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Now, a lot of times for us, Yvonne, how you doing? Like really, like for a lot of us, we've been told. Now, if you haven't been told this, I'm going to tell you right now, it's important to have a why. But we've all been told that. We all know that we need a strong why. And a lot of times how it's told to us, Michelle, how you doing? Kelly, how you doing? How it's usually told to us is you need to know this, that, and the other about why you're doing physical therapy. And we talk about it. Like we talked about it on live streams and everything. But I want to change the perspective a little bit tonight. I want to change the perspective for you tonight. So let me start with the foundation. For a lot of pre-PTs, at least applying now, a common thing, like I was saying, is know your reason. Know your reason, not only because it is good to be able to explain it well, but it's also going to be your fuel when you are a student. So we've been told that. But as I was on this call, we were trying to work. So this student and I were trying to, get, their why to be, narrowed down in a way that was actually like palatable or just made sense. This student felt, and I don't know if you felt like this before, this student felt as though they had so many different things that they could talk about. For those of you that have applied before, you already know when it comes time for the essay, you're like, oh my goodness, I have so many stories that I could talk about. I have so many things that I could talk about. I don't know where to begin. Dustin, how you doing? Taylor, good to see you. Like, really, it's like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. I don't know, like, do I talk about the first time I was introduced to PT? Do I talk about my injury? Do I talk about my interaction with this one physical therapist? Do I talk about my struggle with my sport? And so a lot of us end up communicating a very messy, Alyssa, how you doing? We usually communicate a very messy version of what our why should be. Now, right now, before I go on to share what I'm going to share tonight, comment below if you know what your why is. You don't have to write it out. Just comment. Be like, yes. Just like, yes. Because I'm going to change your perspective just a little bit. Just comment yes. If you know what your why is, just comment yes below. I just want to know who I'm talking to tonight. Madison, good to see you. Good to see you. I'll see y'all in a little bit anyway. I'll finish the live stream so I can hop into the accepted system live stream to take care of y'all. But comment below. Comment yes if you won't right now are like, man, I know exactly what my why is. I know exactly what it is. Like, I'm locked into it. I'm like, yo, every time I take a class and it's not going the way I want to, I know exactly where to go back to. We got Jared, we got Madison, we got Aya, we have Alyssa. Good. Keep commenting. Even if you're watching this on Team Replay, keep commenting because I want to know who I'm talking to tonight. Taylor, good to see you. Yes. I like it. All right, so now, take your why right now. Is your why like a combination of just a lot of different stories? I want you to ask yourself, you don't have to comment. Is your why more of a history book? Or is your why allowing people to experience your journey that led to you deciding to become a physical therapist? Tonight's title is, what if I told you that your why for becoming a PT may not be your real one? Okay? Now, for some of you, it might be. But for a lot of you, I'm starting to realize as I get on more and more phone calls, a lot of you, it is not your real one. And not understanding this will hold you back. It will hold you back. It gets really, it gets confusing because when you go to apply, you're like, man, I don't know what to say. When someone asks you, like, that's one of the first things that I ask people. If anyone has ever gotten on the phone with me, y'all already know. I'm like, yo, so why physical therapy? Like, what drew you into it? Because I want to know. I want to know. But most of the time, the why that we give is not the real one. It's part of the reason. We usually just say, honestly, so like, here's what I normally get. Yeah, Joseph, so I got injured, and then I went to this one place, and then they had physical therapy, and then when I saw what the physical therapist did, I was like, whoa, like, that's amazing, and I was like, wow, like, I could do that. So mine was pretty much my story that I've shared with y'all, like, from high school, how I was introduced to physical therapy. But that's not my why. If all you're doing is giving a history lesson of what has led up to you deciding physical therapy is it actually isn't your real why. It's part of your why. But the conversation I had with this student today went like this. This student was asking me to just help them put it together. Simon, how you doing? Debbie, Alexa, good to see all of you. I will be hopping off so we can, get on the other live stream. But the honest truth is, for this student, I said, honestly, your why should make me feel what you felt when you decided to become a physical therapist. Think about that for a second. Your why should make the listener feel what you felt when you decided that physical therapy was your route. For me, so I've shared mine quite a bit. My why is a culmination of different things, but the pivotal moment for me was when I had a conversation with a physician, an MD. For me, and I've shared this story already, but for me, it was like as an East African born kid, I'm from Kenya, coming to the US, it was these opportunities that were laid in front of me, and my parents were like, yo, Joseph, you gotta be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I'm like, okay, I gotta pick them. At some point, I narrowed it down to doctor and lawyer, but the honest truth is, I never really felt passionate about them. It was just more so to make my parents proud. And it's tied to a lot of other insecurities that I had, and I can share that all day long. But tonight, I want to talk about your why. And the fact that the why that you think it is really isn't it. For me, part of my reason was the fact that, like, as a child, because of the future that my parents were trying to create for us, as a child, I didn't get to spend as much time with my family, or at least as much time as I would have liked to. Because they were working overtime. My dad was working nights at a factory. My mom was working at a grocery store. She went back to school. And so as a kid, I just remember almost like being like I'm a little kid and I got my little sister. My little brother came along later. And I'm kind of like running the show. But I was like a scaredy cat at the same time. But the honest truth is, I remember thinking to myself, whatever I do in the future has to allow me to have time with my future kids. I don't want to miss a single part of what they do. Every night, I want to be there to tuck them into bed. And so I was like, okay, whatever that's going to be, that needs to be what I do. That was part of like what beat inside of me. So even after I was introduced to PT, I still wasn't convinced. I do remember during my junior year of high school, I do remember feeling like, man, like physical. Let's see. Yes, your why will get you into PT school. I'll tell you firsthand, that was the turning point to getting in. Shout out to AU, Andrews University. Let's get it, Simon. But the honest truth is, for me, it wasn't even when I first, like, my story where I say that I saw that physical therapist and I was like, oh, Andrew, how you doing? Like, when I saw the PT, I was like, whoa, like, she gets paid to do that? That was not my turning point. My turning point was when I had a physician. Remember, physician, lawyer, engineer were my big three options. I had a physician tell me not to become a medical doctor. This physician said, Joseph, everything you're looking for, everything that you have felt or desired ever since you were a kid cannot be found with what you are pursuing right now, which is becoming a physician. That's what I was like kind of narrowed in on. And he said, Joseph, like, physical therapy is going to give you that. Physical therapy is going to give you that time. You'll be able to clock out and go hang out with your family at night. You'll be able to have your weekends. And I was like, wait, hold up. That's what I want. So literally I had to find ways to convince my parents that physical therapy was it. The only way I got to convince them was because I said it's a doctorate. They're like, oh, my son's still going to be a doctor. So great. But the honest truth is your why is embedded into so much more than just the history lesson. Don't give people a history lesson when they ask you what your why is. When you go to apply for a PT program, don't just tell them, yeah, I got injured. No, like, what is your why? Like, take me to the moment where you decided to become a physical therapist. Make me feel it. Like, what does it mean to you? We had a student today in our group, and I'm not going to share too much because I don't want to expose nothing, but they were sharing, like, as they started thinking about it today on our call, they literally started saying, whoa, I'm actually getting emotional thinking about what my real reason is. They started going back to their childhood, experiences they had with one of their parents that led to a sport that they were engaged in, that led to an injury, and what that injury really meant. Because the way they told that story before is, I got injured, I saw PTs, I was like, whoa, physical therapy is cool. No, the real reason why they chose PT is because of the journey that led them to that point. What the sport that they were engaged in, what it really meant to them. Going back to as far as they could remember when they were a kid. Back to a relationship with their parent, and they realized, yo, that's why I wanted this thing. That's why I wanted this thing. I wanted this thing because I remember exactly how I felt when that was taken away. When that was taken away, when everything that I had poured, like everything, every bit of what I had built up since I was a kid, everything that I had fallen in love with, when it was taken away, and realizing that the only person that could give it back to me was those physical therapists. There was other medical providers, there was this, there was that, and they were like, yo, those physical therapists are what gave me hope again. They gave me back everything that I had lost because of what it meant. That was their why. Yo, as this person's telling me this story, when they were like, as this student was telling me their story today, I was like, I was getting emotional because I felt it. So for you, ask yourself tonight, and we're not, and I gotta go because I have another live training, but ask yourself tonight, what is it about my decision to become a physical therapist? What is it that I can share that will allow the people that are receiving it on the other side to feel what I felt, to literally come and sit next to me and feel exactly what I felt when I decided to become a physical therapist? When you're writing your essays, that's what you have to share. When you're doing your interviews, that's what you have to share. When you're going on your campus visits, that's what you have to share. Because honestly, people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And if they can feel what you felt, if I was getting emotional listening to this student, Brittany, how you doing? Casey, how you doing? If I was getting emotional listening to this student, I was like, yo, you got it. I said, yo, man, go do a live stream inside of the Accepted System group. That's what I told them. I was like, bro, go share that with everybody else. I want them to hear it. And for those of y'all that are in the Accepted System, you guys already know who I'm talking about. But you guys all have it. We spend so much time talking. If you don't have a why, let's go figure it out first, because it's not, you're not going to get far without it. But number two, your why has to be a lot more than just a history book, than just a history lesson. It has to be a lot more than that. It has to be a lot more than that. If that's all you're reverting back to, if you're just like, man, this is what I did, yeah, and then I got injured, and then what did you feel? Why physical therapy? Did you just say, well, I got injured, so let me just choose PT because it's going to be a cool story later? No. You chose it for a reason. There was something that you lost or you were deprived of that led you to that. Maybe you were never injured. So what was it? Was it when you saw like the physical therapist do something in particular and you're like, yo, that's it? Like what did you feel? We don't make decisions out of logic. Y'all realize that? As human beings, we don't make decisions out of logic. Tell me the last time y'all made a decision out of logic. Shoot. For y'all foodies, I'm a foodie, so don't leave me in the store too long. Otherwise, I'll start taking stuff I shouldn't be eating. You go to the store, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna get some bananas. What's up, Fred? I'm just gonna get some bananas. You go in there, you leave with like pretzels, cookies. Well, that's me. Some of y'all are super healthy, disciplined. I'm proud of y'all. But you leave with stuff that you didn't even plan on doing. For those of y'all who like to buy clothes, man, you walk in, you were planning on buying just one top. Then you go, you're like, oh, this looks cute. This looks that. You go into the dressing room. You look at it in the mirror. You're like, oh, I can't leave without these. I can't leave without these shoes. You end up dropping like $300 because of how you felt. You go home and like the next day you're like, dang, like how'd I get so many things? You do things out of emotion. You make decisions out of your emotions. You don't make them out of logic. So don't expect schools to make decisions about you out of pure logic. That's where most of y'all are losing. Because all the things on paper when it comes to GPA, GRE, those are important. But the honest truth is, make people feel exact. Listen, if right now you're telling me, you're like, yo, Joseph, listen, I literally right now am so locked into physical therapy. I know exactly why I'm doing it. Nobody can stop me. Well, you feel that way because of a reason. Why can't you help somebody else feel exactly what you feel? Listen, y'all realize what these live streams are, right? These live streams are just me literally taking how I feel about a topic, how Casey feels about a topic, and we transpose it, like we literally share it with you. My hype right now, notice, y'all are like, oh wow, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, like it's me taking how I feel right now, and I'm sharing it with you. Why can't you do the same with your why? I can guarantee you this right now. If as a pre-PT, you got more schools to feel why physical therapy is yours, they would understand how hungry you really were. They would understand that there's nothing stopping you because everything about your experience is put into that. Yeah, like our thoughts are always scattered everywhere because we're thinking too logically. When you talk about your why, don't think logically. Like, go back to, like, how you felt. Like, what, man, like, just sit back, find your couch. I mean, for those of y'all on season 4 accepted system, just get ready because we're about to do a training in 6 minutes. But go on your couch and just say, wow, like, let me go back to the moment where I chose PT. Why did I do it? Why did I do it? Warren, how you doing? Like, why did I do it? Then you go back in your thoughts, and you're processing and you're remembering like what led up to it. It wasn't the logical stuff. There was something that happened that led you to feel a certain way about it. There was something that locked you in. Honestly, it might have been a video that you watched. It might have been like one of our live streams. Shoot, I don't know. But whatever it is, go back to that. Use that emotion. Use the story that led up to that. You don't have to share everything. Y'all literally want to share. It's like, oh, when I was 9 years old, I tripped and sprained my ankle. Then when I was 13, I busted my wrist. Then when I was like, 20, I stop giving people a history lesson. Just get them to feel how you felt when you decided that PT was yours. And then I want you to take that same fire. I want you to take that same experience and remind it to yourself over and over. Honestly, say it so that if someone asks you, you can just like regurgitate it. But honestly, remind yourself. Because when things get hard, you're going to still use that why. When you get rejected in 2018, you're going to use that why for this coming cycle. When you go and apply to a PT school and it might not be the one that accepts you, okay, you're going to use that why. When you're in PT school and you're struggling to just push through classes, I'm telling y'all, my second year was the hardest one, and you're struggling with pushing through classes, well, you'll still have that why ringing. But your why is not logical. Your why is 100% emotional. So let people feel exactly what you felt. Take people through that process. Take people through that journey. And it's going to take showing some of the pieces. It's going to take telling a story. The same way that pre-PT told me his story today. And it got me to believe why he wanted to be a PT was strong enough to push him through absolutely anything. And that's it for tonight. I got to go serve our accepted system students, but go crush it. Understand that your why is not logical. If you're stuck on that, send us a message. Go to pre-PT grind, pre-PT grind. Where is it? Like pre-PT, contact preptgrind.com. See, I'm even forgetting. Go to contact preptgrind.com. Send us a message. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. But go crush it. Make this your year. Let's freaking get it. Y'all have a good one. Season 4. I hope y'all are ready. Get ready. I'm about to start the live training in 4 minutes. Let's get it. Y'all have a good one.